In 1882, Welshman Reverend William Hughes travelled to Africa as a missionary. His experiences there inspired him to launch the African Institute in Colwyn Bay to provide education and opportunities for students from Congo and beyond. Congo House, later known as the African Institute, ran from 1889 to 1912. This film aims to tell some of the story and to highlight the impact the Institute had not only in Wales, but all over the world.
William Hughes' idea on Africa, his relationship with Black African and African American, and his influence on his students were all shaped and informed by his own experience growing up as a Welshman in England's old colony. I'm Chief Thomas Bikebi, the Director of Global Connection Builder Vision.
I'm Patrick Kiameso Vubu, and I'm Mayor of town of Matadi.
I'm Bart Ngoma, former President of All Congolese in the UK, but actually here I came here as Chief Executive of the charity Congolese Children Association.
Although records are not completely accurate, around 100 students are thought to have attended the Institute.
You know, Congo to here by flight is about 8 hours. But that time, they're traveling by boat. It's taken them maybe 1 year to come here, we don't know. Maybe, we don't know, months, years, we don't know. And they travel from there to here. For my people, for my country, for my culture, it's a very strong event.
The Institute was not just funded by white British sources. African money supported it too. The expectation was always that the students would return to Africa for the benefit of their country.
The vision of Reverend William was what? Bring the young people here, train them, and then bring them back again, if it's possible, to Congo, Matadi, and for them now to teach or to show what they show here, what they receive in terms of education and training. That was the huge positive vision from Reverend William.
The African Institute was a business as well as a training institute. The students were trained as highly skilled tailors and were apprenticed out to Paulson's printers and others. Paulson's is still a thriving business in Colwyn Bay to this day. This integration into the community was at the heart of the Institute's purpose. It did not exist only to teach students new skills. It also existed to help the people of Colwyn Bay, and beyond, learn about Africa and African culture. Reverend Hughes wanted local people to understand that the students from Africa were the same as them in all ways, and that the only difference was in their education. Connecting with the local community was also an important way for the Institute to raise funds.
When they used to go singing in the street, singing, raising money, raising funds.
The first black cricket club is Congo Institute. In the world, not just in the United Kingdom, but in the world. 5 years, they were unbeatable here. That sport didn't exist in the Congo, but we introduced that sport in the Congo for the legacy of our ancestors.
The first students of the Institute were Nkanza and Kinkasa. Aged 8 and 11, their families gave permission for them to travel to Wales with Reverend Hughes.
So they are the ones who were taking care of William Hughes during their travel from Congo to the United Kingdom.
The first female student at the Institute was Ernestina Francis. She was a gifted student and went on to become a teacher. She was probably the most photographed black woman of that time. Nkanza, Kinkasa and Ernestina are all buried in a churchyard on Llanelian Road, Old Colwyn. Lulu Coote, another female student, had a long career as a nurse. She lived in Birmingham until her death in 1964. Frank Teva Clark made quick academic progress at the Institute. He kept a close connection with Colin Bay even after returning to Africa. He became a popular activist and was described as honest, fearless, and truthful. Daniel Harvey was described as a good scholar who was well liked in the community. He trained as a carpenter, a wheelwright, a printer, and even a medic. Davidson Dontengo Yabavu gained a degree in English and became an author, journalist, and academic. As a teacher in South Africa, he became a tutor and mentor to Nelson Mandela.
Because the roots of Nelson Mandela is here. And the whole world, even now, talking about that amazing history of humanitarian, peaceful man of the world. He's a very big role model. This is the fruit of Congo Institute. So by picking up what we say, Nelson Mandela, the first doctor of Nigeria, yes, that is Congo Institute. And how many people were impacted through Nelson Mandela, through the first doctor of Nigeria, and even the first organization of Ethiopia student started here. A century after, Youth and East Africa Institute collapsed in scandal. So for those people who wanted the Congolese people to be controlled, that's why the idea of that Congo Institute was not really supported by 100% of the people. But that is the past. We cannot live in the past. The past should be our place of reference, not our place of residence. But let's take the positive side of that history for the future generation.